last 25 years, you have not only been my wife and mother of my children, you have been my best friend.
Michelle Obama's daughter uncovering alarming family secrets have surfaced. Malia Obama has recently taken steps that hint at hidden truths, stirring speculation that she might not be the biological child of Barack and Michelle. I want to thank the chairman of the National Turkey Federation, Dr. Douglas, as well as farmer Joe Heeden, who personally raised this turkey in California's Central Valley. What if Malia Obama's recent decisions revealed something shocking and deeply hidden about the family? Before we get into the details, it's clear that these revelations are more shocking than expected, and this is just the start of more surprises. Imagine a world where every rumor or hint about the Obama family is not just gossip but something people believe could hold a hidden truth. In this piece, we explore the strange and surprising speculation surrounding one of America's most famous families. For years, rumors have swirled around Michelle Obama, with some people questioning her gender. This all began with a joke made by a comedian in 2014 but soon grew into a full-blown conspiracy theory spread by internet sleuths and those who thrive on sensational stories. They dug through pictures and videos, twisting them to support their claim that Michelle, a strong and confident woman, was not born female. As the story goes on, a mysterious envelope shows up at a journalist's desk. It looks like it has proof of the rumors about her. The journalist now has to choose, share these secrets with the world or keep them hidden and avoid a huge scandal. These claims go against all logic and the facts of her life, but they continue to spread, helped by doctored images and echo chambers on the internet. The burden of years in the spotlight so easily fuels these theories. This theory is not just about Michelle, though. It also extends to former President Barack Obama, with some people making wild claims about his intimacy and their marriage being a cover-up. Even their daughters, Malia and Sasha, are not left out. Some conspiracy theories question whether they were even born to the Obamas, suggesting they might have been adopted under mysterious circumstances, either from Morocco or secretly in the United States. These theories are based on the lack of public birth records and the absence of many pregnancy photos of Michelle, ignoring the fact that a presidential family would want to protect their privacy. Some even go as far as to claim the girls might be clones, part of a secret government project created from their parents' DNA to be perfect children. Each theory becomes more unbelievable than the last, made not to inform but to shock and entertain. Even though these stories have been debunked over and over again by fact-checkers and common sense, they still thrive among people who are already suspicious or biased. But the strangest part? These same people dismiss any proof that contradicts their beliefs as part of a bigger cover-up. It's important to tell the difference between fact and fiction as these rumors continue to surround public figures like the Obamas. The real truth behind what they faced, such as Malia's choice to use her middle name often, shows a much simpler but still important story. It's a story about real human experiences like dealing with fertility issues, wanting to be independent, and figuring out who you are, things that are much more relatable than the made-up stories that get passed around. In an effort to give Malia the freedom to make her own choices, her parents, Barack and Michelle, suggested she go by just her first name. The idea was to help her avoid constant comparisons to her well-known father, a major figure in both American and global politics. While some might think there's a deeper reason behind this, it's really just that she, like any young person, wanted to create her own identity. Dropping her famous last name gave her the chance to follow her own interests without always being seen as Obama's daughter. But this simple decision gave rise to wild theories. Some people believe that her decision to stop using the Obama last name suggests something secretive about her family. They even go as far as claiming this change as proof of hidden truths, like the idea that she might have found out she wasn't really Barack and Michelle's biological child. As a family, we spend most weekends staring at each other because somebody's at a basketball game, somebody's at a dance, and somebody's sleeping over. We are the last people our kids want to be with, so I think they're conditioning us. These theories claim she discovered this in some dramatic way, leading to tension within the family. In this bizarre theory, people think that her real parents are actually her godparents, close friends of the Obamas. They suggest that because the Obamas couldn't have children, a secret agreement was made for her to be raised by them. According to this story, once she supposedly learned the truth, she decided to drop her last name as a way of embracing her true identity and separating herself from what she saw as family lies. Even though there's no real proof behind these stories, they continue to spread, especially online. Some people who distrust official information are drawn to these ideas, believing there's something hidden in the lives of powerful families. These wild claims are often connected to even larger conspiracy theories, feeding an endless cycle of misinformation. Conspiracy theories, including strange accusations about Michelle Obama and the origins of the Obama children, have circulated for years. However, the truth is probably much simpler. She is just trying to find her own way in life, away from her family's public role. Still, for those who enjoy creating and believing in conspiracies, every move she makes is seen as a piece of a bigger, mysterious puzzle. As these stories grow, they become more exaggerated, ensuring that the rumors about her name change keep circulating. This fuels more sensational claims, and the theories never seem to go away. The name change itself is probably just a part of growing up. At the University of Southern California, Michelle Obama shared stories about her daughter's journey from childhood to adulthood. She joked about how their interests evolved, from loving boy bands like the Jonas Brothers to now dating real people. This highlighted how much they've grown and matured over the years. During a public event, Barack Obama also reflected on his daughter's early dating years. He recalled the slightly awkward moments when Secret Service agents had to quietly observe their dates from a distance. While this unique situation sometimes made his daughters uneasy, Michelle expressed pride in the strong bond they share today as confident, independent women. Michelle credits her parenting style to her own mother, who believed that being a parent wasn't just about raising children but about preparing them to be responsible, capable adults. She followed this philosophy by teaching her daughters essential life skills beyond their privileged life in the White House. They learned simple but important things like making their beds, driving a car, and being independent. Even though the public has always been curious about their lives, Michelle believes the challenges Sasha and Malia faced helped shape them into the remarkable young women they are today. While living in the White House might seem like a dream, it came with its own difficulties. The Grand Home, a symbol of American history and power, wasn't exactly a typical place for children to grow up. Still, Sasha and Malia found ways to be kids. They played games and had fun while also attending formal events and dinners under constant security. As we explore the strange rumors about the Obamas, it's worth considering how these stories affect public perception and their privacy. The Obamas worked hard to give their daughters a sense of normalcy. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Michelle shared that they tried to keep life as normal as possible despite the unusual circumstances. Before moving to the White House, they lived in a comfortable Chicago apartment, much smaller than their future home. The transition was a big change, but it also brought incredible experiences, such as traveling the world, witnessing historic moments, and learning about diplomacy. In more recent interviews, Malia has spoken about the valuable lessons she learned during her father's presidency. These experiences gave both her and Sasha a deeper understanding of the world and the responsibilities of leadership. Michelle worked hard to protect her daughters from the public eye, ensuring they had privacy and a safe space to grow up. Thanks to this, they were able to enjoy fairly normal teenage years, going to school, doing chores, and spending time with friends, even as the whole nation watched them. Still, it wasn't always easy. Today, Sasha and Malia are known for their grace and style at public events, something they credit to their mother's guidance. More importantly, Michelle taught them to be kind, humble, and confident, qualities they have demonstrated in public appearances and interviews. As they step into adulthood, the world is curious to see where life will take them. Their parents struck a balance between handling big responsibilities and being there for their children, helping Sasha and Malia embrace both the ordinary and extraordinary sides of life. This foundation has set them up for success in whatever path they choose. At family meetings in the White House, Sasha and Malia always had a voice. Even though their ideas weren't always implemented, their parents made sure their opinions were heard. To them, the White House wasn't just a famous building, it was home. Barack Obama once shared that, despite living in a highly political environment, his daughters cared more about the small things that made it feel like home. As the first black family in the White House, their journey wasn't always smooth. However, they still enjoyed normal childhood experiences, having playdates, attending school events, and spending family movie nights together. Unlike some parents who are less involved in their children's education, Michelle and Barack Obama were highly engaged in their daughter's schooling. Michelle frequently spoke about the importance of education and stayed actively involved in their academic lives. Teachers checked on how students were doing and ensured they were doing well in school. One time, Michelle even mentioned that her sister missed Barack's last State of the Union address because she had to study for a big test the next day. People on social media praised this choice, appreciating how the Obamas put education first, even over big political events. This dedication helped Michelle and her sister grow up in a balanced way. Michelle also thanked her own mother, Marion Robinson, who moved into the White House in 2009 to help raise the girls. Her presence gave them a sense of normal family life, even in such an unusual place. But this wasn't the only surprising thing about Marion. Even while living in the White House, she stayed independent. She did her own laundry and taught her granddaughters to do the same. At first, when Barack and Michelle told the White House staff to let the girls do their chores, it caused some concern. The staff was used to doing everything for the first family, so this change felt strange, and some even worried about their jobs. However, over time, they got used to it and came to see the girls as regular kids, ensuring they had private moments away from the public eye. Michelle and Barack played important roles in teaching their daughters good values and encouraging them to think deeply. The girls often spoke about how much they learned from their father, especially the lessons on kindness and understanding that he passed down from his own mother. These values were a big part of their upbringing. There was one emotional moment that stuck with Michelle. She remembered watching her daughters, who were 7 and 10 at the time, go off to their new school under heavy security. It made her wonder how their lives in the White House would shape their futures. Both parents supported their daughters in following their passions, with Barack always encouraging them to choose careers they loved and that would help others. Michelle, who had her own public role, always stressed the importance of privacy for her daughters. Even though she was a well-known figure, her main focus was being a mother and helping her family during Barack's presidency. For the past 25 years, Barack often referred to Michelle as the girl of the South Side. He acknowledged her role not only as his wife and the mother of his children, but also as a source of strength and inspiration. In her autobiography Becoming, Michelle shared more about her life, offering a deeper look into how she balanced public life with personal goals. When Becoming was released, it quickly captured the attention of people worldwide. It became a bestseller and was translated into many languages. The book provided a personal look at not just Michelle's struggles and dreams, but also those of many others who saw themselves in her story. She shared her worries about being a good wife and mother, her early struggles with self-doubt, and how she dealt with other people's opinions. The honesty in her writing was praised for its openness. But Becoming was more than just a reflection on her past. The book also hinted at her future plans and her dedication to personal growth, even after leaving the White House. Readers walked away with a deeper understanding of Michelle Obama, often seeing parts of their own lives reflected in her journey. Michelle's story begins with her early life as Michelle LaVaughn Robinson, growing up in a loving but modest home in Chicago's South Side. Although they didn't have a lot of money, her family was close-knit. Her father worked as a city pump operator, and her mother stayed at home to care for her and her brother, Craig. Her father's battle with multiple sclerosis taught her the importance of resilience, instilling in her the belief that no situation should ever hold someone back from reaching their full potential. Growing up on the South Side of Chicago, where racial and economic challenges were common, she learned early on the value of education and perseverance. She and her brother shared a room, separated by a simple divider. It was Craig who later introduced her to her future husband, Barack Obama. From a young age, she believed that education was a powerful tool. Her path took her from being an eager student to pursuing greater ambitions. Underestimated because of her background, she became a strong voice at Princeton University and later Harvard Law School. Throughout her academic journey, she fought against social barriers and spoke up for diversity and understanding. Her career mirrored these values. She was the first African-American associate dean at the University of Chicago, and her work in the White House reflected her commitment to education. For the Obamas, education wasn't just a way to get ahead in life, it was a core family belief. This was clear in initiatives like Reach Higher and Let Girls Learn. Barack Obama's early years were marked by a multicultural background and a strong focus on academics. He attended Occidental College, Columbia University, and then Harvard Law School, where he became the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review. From community organizing to becoming president, his life was a testament to his dedication to leadership and education. Their daughters, Sasha and Malia, also grew up with a strong belief in the power of learning. Malia explored her passion for the arts, even taking a gap year to intern in the film industry before starting her studies at Harvard. Sasha, after transferring from the University of Michigan, is now studying sociology at the University of Southern California. She surprised many when she decided to take a year off before starting college. This decision stood out, especially because her family placed so much value on education. But for her, this break was about more than school. She wanted to take time to explore who she was, what she wanted to do, and how she fit into the world. Taking a year off like this is common in other countries, but less so in the United States. She saw this time as a chance to step away from the White House and experience the world from a different perspective. One of the key things she did during her gap year was intern in the film industry. She had already tried it out with a summer job on the TV show Girls in 2015, but now she was ready to dive in deeper. She landed an internship at the Weinstein Company in New York, where she learned all about making films, from writing scripts to editing scenes. She got a close-up look at the industry, which might shape her future career. Taking this break from school gave her lessons that no classroom could teach. It was a time for her to learn more about herself and what she wanted as she moved from the structured life in the White House to the independence of college. When she finally started at Harvard, her gap year experiences prepared her well for her studies in visual and environmental studies. Now, as a Harvard graduate, she is beginning to make a name for herself in the film industry. Recently, she worked on the Amazon series Swarm with Donald Glover, and she's also working on her own short film. People in the industry are taking notice of her talent. Janine Neighbors, who co-created Swarm, even praised her for being a dedicated and talented writer. At the same time, her mother was dealing with the intense scrutiny that came with life after the White House. Everything she did and said was closely watched, including a comment about American pride that was misunderstood. Despite these pressures, her mother stayed strong and kept living by her famous motto, "When they go low, we go high, no matter the criticism." As the Obamas settled into their post-presidency life, they also shared more personal moments with the public. During a virtual interview with Conan O'Brien, Michelle talked about how their family spent time together during the COVID-19 lockdown. At first, being together was great, but eventually, she and her sister Sasha got tired of having their parents around all the time. Still, the hardest moment for the family came in May 2024 when Marion Robinson, her grandmother, passed away. She had always been a source of strength and support for her, and her loss was deeply felt by the whole family, especially by her and her daughters. Years after their time in the White House, the Obamas continued to inspire many people with their focus on public service and their ability to stay strong during tough times. Do you think the persistence of such conspiracy theories reflects more on the creators or the